Hey, hello everyone, I'm David Guerrero and welcome back to another video here on Many Ways Films. It's probably been a little while since I made a video like this, so I apologize to anyone who has been following the channel waiting for another video. The truth is that I've been very busy with going back to school and working on my personal projects as well. There's so many things that I want to talk about, so much stuff that I've done lately, especially with the Nikon Z8. I have played with other cameras in the last couple of months, but I always keep coming back to the Nikon Z8, and that's something that I've talked to people that I work with and that they've seen my work, and we have collaborated. They just can't believe the image quality out of the Nikon Z8. And with that being said, I think we can generalize like all Nikon Z cameras, but in this case, since I have the Nikon Z8, I want to talk specifically about this camera. A lot of the videos on my channel, they're centered about Nikon and cameras that I've owned and I've played with, or a review from a certain lens or something like that. But it's also about the projects that I'm working on at the time. So right now, something that I've been doing the most is working on short films, but also working in stuff like commercial things and music videos. And this month I'm gonna have two music videos from two very talented bands here in Utah, and I'm really excited about that. Since the last time I talked to you guys, I worked in two other music videos and I worked in a couple commercial things. Some of them I can't show yet, but I can show you pieces of this videos because they're posted already and you can go watch them on their official YouTube channels. Something that people have always told me is like, I can't believe the image quality out of it, and most importantly, how no one who wants to focus on filmmaking is considering these cameras. And by no one, it's just the majority. I'm sure there's thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people that choose Nikon for their filmmaking tool when it comes to filmmaking, if that makes any sense. 9 out of 10 times I shoot on Nikon N-Log or NRAW, I should say. That's the setting that I prefer. That's what I've used to with file sizes and what works with my computer, going to that like high quality, high size files, but still not being crazy big files, and giving me the flexibility for color grading and all that kind of stuff. I want to make it clear, and I've said it so many times, I'm not a colorist. I'm not someone that messes too much with color grading. I've gone through many tutorials, but I also have learned myself just by trial and error to find the style that I like and what works best for me. So that being said, that doesn't mean that the way I do it is the way of doing things. I think that there's many ways of doing things, photography, directing, acting, your art, whatever you choose to do. There's obviously other things, if your life depends on it, like doing a surgery or something like that. That's probably only one way of doing it. I don't know, I'm not a doctor, but when it comes to filmmaking and art, I feel like there's many ways to get to where you want to get, and that's part of the art or the process that makes it be artistic. And the Nikon Z8 is a camera that has worked so well with me. I mostly shoot on vintage lenses. I've made a video in the past about that and some of the vintage lenses that I recommend. I have a lot of vintage lenses now. I am waiting actually like right now on my Amazon package to be delivered, and that should be, it says that it's 3 stops away. I'll make a video on what lens I'm getting, but the point of the video is not the lenses or anything like that. I just want to make it clear, or want to let you know what I work with, how I get the look that I get. If that's something that you like or you think it's cool or not, that's just how I do it. I shoot with manual vintage lenses. Minolta lenses are my primary lens choices, but I also use like Nikkor, 70s 80s kind of lenses, and that's what I use for mostly everything I do. I know that it's like very sexy to shoot on 1.8 2.8, those big apertures, but I like to shoot between 3.5 4.5 kind of aperture around those, like 5.6 even. I end up shooting a lot of that. I mean, I do shoot at 2.8, 1.8, but rarely shoot at 1.8. I'm not against it. I just, you know, it's gotta have a purpose for it. This camera is so versatile. It's fairly low weight, so you can carry this, at least for someone like me. I'm over 212, 13 pounds. You don't have to weigh the same as I do, you know, that doesn't really matter. But what I'm trying to say is that this camera is not really that heavy. I usually just shoot everything handheld. I have a gimbal, I have a Steadicam. I owned a shoulder mount in the past that I just never really used, and I love shoulder mounts. But for my filmmaking style, you know, the stuff that I always end up doing, I love the handheld look. I obviously have put my camera in like a Dana dolly or a gimbal or a tripod and things like that for shots that require it, but most of the time I shoot everything handheld. Stabilization on this camera is good. I'm not gonna say it's great because that would be lying. It doesn't matter if you put it on standard stabilization or sport mode. It's not gonna be the best stabilization that you're gonna see in your life, and that's just being honest. But if you're shooting at 60 or 120 frames per second, I think that you're gonna be very safe when it comes to movement and stabilization. Obviously you want to practice your movements and try to be steady, you know, keep the camera close to your body so it doesn't feel as heavy, and your shoulders, your arms are not doing all the hard work. I like to see other people's works on YouTube or music videos, and I look through the specs, and some of the times they're shot with certain cameras, and I'm not gonna say specifically which ones, but the popular ones, and it looks great, it looks beautiful. But when I all of a sudden see a YouTuber working with a Nikon camera, it just blows my mind, because the image quality is, at least color wise, it's way better than what it is with the competition, in my opinion. And then with Red joining Nikon and then just dropping those red LUTs for Nikon, that's crazy. So what you're looking at right now, I already applied the red LUT through this video, and I'm so excited for the future videos that I'm gonna be working on with this LUT. I don't do any heavy color grading. It's very basic color grading. I feel like you can type like Nikon color grading and you're gonna find something that's gonna help you find a decent color grade, and then just go from there. Practicality, image quality, and by practicality I mean like how convenient it is to use it and your workflow. So a lot of people like to have a big rig camera. You can do that with the Nikon. I just bought a cage as well, and it's very helpful. I rarely shoot with an external monitor. I feel like the monitor in my camera is good enough. I have a monitor right now where I can see myself, but even this one is just not too big. I'm not into monitors that much. I mean, I like them, but they're not my thing. Ultimately, you want to do what works best for you, and for me, the Nikon Z8 just gives me the image that I like. The image that you get out of this sensor is something that have me really pleased, and I'm so used to the workflow. So honestly, I think it's gonna be really hard for me to move away from Nikon, especially right now where Nikon, it's, in my opinion, gonna be the king of mirrorless cameras, probably in the next 5, maybe even 3 years. That's just my opinion. Don't hate on me. Everybody has their own opinions, or hate me, I don't care. That's just my opinion. Again, quality, dynamic range, file sizes, they're not the prettiest, but I think they're fairly decent, especially if you want to shoot in 12-bit RAW 4K. You're getting a lot of you're getting a pretty good file size, and it sucks. So you got to make sure that you have the equipment to be able to process that. You have so many options to shoot with this camera. You can shoot up to 8K, and you can shoot like HD and 24, and you can shoot like 10-bit or 8-bit, whatever you want to do. And I feel like this camera, even at 8-bit, 10-bit, the image quality that you get out of it, that's just crazy. And by crazy I mean it's really nice. Well, that's all I have to say. More than anything, I wanted to show you visuals while I was talking, so you have an idea of how, you know, it works for me, how the image looks. I have plenty of videos about the Nikon Z8, and I want to start focusing a little bit more about the projects that I'm working on and how the equipment that I'm using, you know, has worked for me. It doesn't matter if it's a microphone, if it's a monitor or anything like that. So I'll probably gonna be talking more about that, but I have some lenses that I'm testing out right now and I want to make a video, so stay tuned. I hate that word, but you know, just keep checking for the future video. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. See ya.